Hi everyone and welcome to the next edition of Like, Share, Follow. And this week I have the amazing Callum Gordon, who is a USC grad but is now a freelance public relations consultant. So welcome, Cal. How are you going?
I'm good, thanks, Karen. Thanks for having me on your show. I'm glad to be here.
It's great to have you on. And so it's been a little while since I've seen you in class. So when did you graduate from USC?
It was 3 years yesterday, actually.
Yeah, wow.
3 years yesterday. It came up on my memories on Facebook. Yeah.
It's gone really quickly. And so tell me, what have you been doing in the time that you were at USC to now?
Yeah, so I left USC and I kind of got a contract job pretty much straight away with Noosa Alive. So a local festival. So I was doing their social media for the festival. It actually continued on from my internship. So my last internship at USC, my last semester, I actually got offered a contract from that. So I was doing work with Noosa Alive. So, establishing their socials and their digital strategy. So I was doing that for a couple of months. And then I was doing more freelance work. And then I went into a job at a school. So yeah, been busy.
Yeah, it sounds like it. And so now you studied, I remember we only had one social media course when you were there.
Yeah, we had, I think it was just intro to social media, or social 276.
Just social media.
Yeah.
And then we started the minor and everything.
At the tail end when I was leaving, I saw it coming and I was like, no, I wanted to do it. But but I got the one subject with you, which is great. Yeah.
Yeah. And so what has been some of the best advice that people have given you in terms of your career?
Yeah, so I remember when I first finished uni, I reached out to a publicist that I was following on Instagram, and he is a publicist for an actor in London, one of my favorite actresses. And I just sent him an email saying, I'm a massive fan of this actress. I'd love how you promote her. What advice do you have for someone who is starting in the industry? And I think the best piece of advice that he gave me is to always have, as a PR person in your everyday, always have something that you can take notes on with, so pen and paper, and always have a device with you. Because he said to me, which something has really stuck with me and has happened to me a lot, is that wherever you are, you might need to quickly do an update or grab a photo or something like that. So he just said to always have access to a digital device. So I think that advice has stuck with me a lot, because when you're running around doing a million things, and you need to grab content when you can and where you can. It's so important to be able to quickly grab that and be able to concisely, narrate it and upload it. So I guess having the tools with you to be able to capture content was really what he said. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, it's like, so Gary Vee always talks about sort of documenting what you're doing. And so, it's just having those tools. I mean, as PR people, as communicators, as people working in social media, we're really storytellers, right? So having to be able to tell those stories, because the stories are happening everywhere, anytime. So
they're just happening all around us. So I think just to be really, really concise as well with how you deliver the content as well, and I guess timely as well. Make it timely.
Absolutely. And so tell me, what do you think? So you managed to secure some really good contracts when you graduated. So what do you think set you apart from other graduates when you were going?
Yeah, I think what set me apart and kind of ties in with what I got out of the experience at USC and the public relations degree is the ability to work really well in groups and teamwork. To me, that was a really, really vital skill that helped set me apart. I think as PR people, we're expected automatically to be really good communicators, but there is still a level between being a good communicator and being a great communicator. So I think just being really, self-aware of the ability that you have to approach people and also talk to people. I would always call people after sending them an email if I got a contract or something like that to say thank you, instead of just, sending back an email, just kind of going that extra step. So I think, that advice I'd give to people at USC right now would be really proactive. As soon as you email someone or a client, try and give them a call. Even if you leave a voicemail, make it really positive, because, you're trying to get that connection. And if you're showing up energy, they're going to want that energy in their business. So I think just be really proactive in your approach to communication, and it'll make you a great communicator instead of a good communicator.
Yeah, absolutely. And so tell me, what do you think, what are some of the things that you gained at university that have really helped you now that you're out working?
Yeah, I think what I gained was the ability to be able to write concisely, to be able to tell a story with as few words as possible, but still have a really clear and concise meaning. Attention spans are so short when we're on social media. We like scroll and just, flick through stuff really quickly and don't even look at captions half the time. So I think the ability to be able to, I think, narrate content, whether it's, video content or still photo content or, GIF content, to be able to have that skill set to be able to write really concisely and clearly. I think that's something that I really, really learned at university, because beforehand, I thought I was a good writer, but, you can definitely tell a story in so many different ways. And if you're able to tell it in fewer words, your audience is going to read it quicker and see it instead of just scrolling past a giant paragraph. So I think just really clear and concise writing skills really is something that I got out of the degree at USC. Yeah.
Excellent. And what do you think, what's something you wish you'd known going out into the workforce that you wish you'd learned at university that you didn't learn at university?
Yeah, I think about this a lot, and I think that what I would have liked to know, when I graduated 3 years ago, is that while you're a great communicator, like I said before, I think you really have to know how to, I think, stand up for yourself as well. I think really know your worth. Know your worth as a contributor to the company that you're with, or when you're freelancing. Like, don't devalue your skill set or what you can offer a business or an organization. I guess really, stand up for yourself and know that what you're bringing to the table, it's valuable. It's just as important. Like, their marketing strategy and their social media strategy is just as important as their, financial review document that might be published. It's just as important. So I think, value your work that you're bringing to the company. I think, I think back now, and I caught up with friends after graduating and working, and they'd say, "Oh, what are you up to now?" And I say, "Oh, I'm doing social media for a company." And I was very much, I guess, downplaying it. Like, yeah, I just do that social media, but it's a massive thing that you've got the responsibility of the organization literally in your fingertips. So I think value yourself and value the work you do, and just look after yourself really.
Absolutely. And I mean, social media as a profession, like it is actually a real profession now, and it's like a whole degree in it now, because it is an actual profession. Marae Ryan, who's the CEO of the Social Media Marketing Institute, I often get her to come and speak to students at USC, and she's really passionate about the fact that she believes that social media managers should have a seat at the board table, because, in the boardroom, because they, they do hold the reputation of in their hands, like they're such a public facing role. That it really deserves to get, I guess, more recognition. That
they're essentially the author of the company, really.
You're looking after customer service. You're looking after all sorts of aspects of that in that particular role. So that's a really good one. Like, just getting that confidence in what you're doing.
Yeah, I think another thing that I would also wish that I knew when I first started, doing freelance work and working for companies, is that not just to jump straight in. I think, when you start a new role or a new contract with a new business, I think you really need to spend some time to really know what you're working with. Like, know what you're working with, like do a proper audit and analysis of what's already there, instead of just trying to jump in and, reinvent the wheel again. Because a lot of the times the clients that I've worked with, like, they've got great content that they've developed. They just aren't putting it out there in a way that is getting seen. So I think don't try and reinvent the wheel in that aspect. If the company's already got content somewhere sitting there, ask to have it, ask to look at it. Chances are they've probably spent money on it. So it's going to be somewhat decent to be able to use. So I think just really know what you're working with before just trying to jump in.
Yeah, that's great advice. And I mean, really, the first part of any sort of social media strategy is doing an audit to know what's going on. What are the strengths and deficiencies of a company's social media presence, but also who their audience is, and also what their competitors are doing or not doing. So then that's a space that you into.
100%.
I agree with you there. And so, we always ask our guests something new that they've learned in relation to social media in the last 2 weeks. So it can be or a hack or just even a bit of advice or experience that you've learned.
Yeah, something that I discovered recently, which is getting rolled out on Facebook, which I thought was really, really cool. And I'm not too sure, like I know it's probably going to be a bit of a hiccup for, content creators out there, but Facebook's just unveiled, it's the Facebook Rights Manager. I'm not sure if you've heard of that.
No, tell me more.
So the Facebook Rights Manager is essentially, it's a tool in the creative space on Facebook if you're a page or run a page. And basically as a creator, you upload your image, right? So say, for example, I've taken a photo of, let's say I'm a client who's taken a photo of a national park. I upload that photo and it gets stored on Facebook, but it applies I think it's like some kind of search within the image that if anyone, tries to take that image and save it on their phone and repost it on Instagram or Facebook will automatically delete it. So it's actually, so it's called Rights Manager. So I think
I've heard of that, but I didn't know the name of it. And to be honest, I think that's a very good thing because I think it is a great thing because, people like just steal other people's content all the time.
Yeah. That's why I think it's going to be tricky for a lot of content creators out there, like people who I guess do their social media themselves and not through an agency or through a freelancer, is that, that tool's going to be taken away now of being able to just get something off the internet and post it. So I think it's going to be interesting to see that unfold in the coming couple months.
Well, I think it'll show up who's been ripping off other people.
But I mean, I think it's really good, for people who do photography as their bread and butter, so their images aren't stolen. Another thing as well, which I thought was really interesting, is that from a content creation aspect and, an SEO aspect, that Facebook now is allowing you to have more text on images when you're advertising a post. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, because I've in our courses, like when students are creating that students often struggle with limiting that their images. So it'll be interesting to see how that actually affects reach as well. And if less still is more, it will be interesting.
Because I've come across that myself. I remember working a couple of years ago, I was working with a client and they wanted, an image put up with text on it, and they wanted so much information on it that it just wouldn't go because it said that it can't be boosted because of too much text. So it'll be interesting to see though how the combination of, copyrighted photos with text kind of
that's a good point.
It's a double whammy really. To kind of see how that works. So interesting to see how some pages
and so tell me, do you have any advice for emerging professionals in the field or current students or people who are about to graduate about how to succeed in their careers?
I think by the time I graduated, I already had quite a solid portfolio put together, and it was things like press releases that I would do for an assignment, even though it might be hypothetical. I would use them as portfolio work. So I think it comes back to don't undervalue what you've done in your classes at USC. There are practical classes for a reason. The stuff you've created for an assignment, that's stuff that you'll be doing in the workplace. So, if you did really well in it and got really good feedback from your tutor, put that in your portfolio. I mean, this shows really that you can write about anything if it's a hypothetical client that you've been given to write about. And I think also find your niche as well. We need social media for everything, and people have their own hobbies and interests. For example, I'm really interested in mental health. So one of my clients at the moment is, a mental health practice that's just opened up in Gympie. So, I think if you have a niche that you're interested in, reach out to that niche. If you're a guy who's really into surfing and you're studying social media, reach out to the local surf shop or a surfboard brand on the coast. If you're interested in it, plus you have the tools to be able to help the business, they'll see that. So, Yeah,
that's great advice. And often with a lot of the assignments that we do, particularly in the social media courses, students are working with real clients and they do get a chance to choose their client as well. So it is a great opportunity for them to actually start to build practical experience in the area that they would love to actually work in. So, and sometimes I have to say to them, because I hear them talking about it's just a uni assignment, and it's not like this. These things are, these are things you can show to help you to get work when you finish, or even when you're at uni, because a lot of our students now have paying clients, social media clients, while they're studying. So, it's like everything is the best way to leverage it to get to where you want to be.
I've still got all my stuff as well, and I think that's something as well that I would say to USC grads is have everything accessible to you. You know, I have everything on my Google Drive on my phone. So if I'm out somewhere and I run into someone and you get talking and they say, "Oh, you're into social media," well, you can show them stuff straight away that you've done.
Yeah.
It's almost like a digital portfolio to have at your fingertips. Yeah.
That's great advice. And so the most important question of all is, who do you like, share, and follow?
Yeah, so I have a person that I follow on Facebook, and I've been following them for a couple of years, but their name's Jen Bales Marketing. And, she's a freelancer as well. And just the stuff that she posts it's really easy to understand.
Yeah.
So I'd recommend if there's any businesses, that are tuning in to watch this, go follow her page, because all of the content that she puts out, it's really easy to dissect it and actually apply it to anything, really. It's really clear and easy to understand. I think that's what a lot of people need. They don't want a lot of fancy wording or like lingo. They just want to know how something works. And she's able to really articulate, how to use Instagram, how to grow her following. Like, she did a video the other day of how she grew her Instagram, I think, to 1,000 followers in 2 weeks. Just using, like, she didn't use any paid stuff, just using organics. So stuff like that I think is really important. So I would definitely like, share, and follow her. And also Dr. Karen Sutherland. She posts a lot of great stuff too.
Thanks, you didn't have to say that. It gets really embarrassed, but thank you. Oh, that's great. And so can you put a link to Jen's when after this there'll be you can put a comment on LinkedIn and on Facebook, and so just so other people see her work as well, that would be great.
She started off as a YouTuber, actually. She used to create like a lot of content, like funny YouTube videos and stuff like that. But now she's gone into the space of digital marketing and consulting. So she's amazing.
That would be great. And so we've had some comments. So Anthony Roberto has said, firstly, good advice to stand up for your skill sets and value yourself, as everyone has a contribution to make, especially graduates and emerging social media freelancers. He said, thank you for your insights, Callum, and particularly your ability to write precisely. And he thanked you for your interesting hacks and sites and hacks. Wanted you to actually, if there's any articles about those new features on Facebook, if you can also put those in the comments as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you for another great session and continued success in your career, Callum.
Thanks, Anthony. Thank you.
So do you have any final words before we finish today?
I think I'd just like to reinforce, what Anthony was saying before about standing up for yourself and valuing your work. I think it's often very overlooked in terms of what we do sometimes as a profession. And I think we deserve to be at that board table, as you said. I think also just stand up for yourself. As a freelancer, you've got a bit more control, I guess, because you're your own boss. But, when you're in an organization, they know how important social media is. So, stand up for yourself. What you're doing is valuable. So ask for things and you'll get them.
Absolutely. And I think too, sometimes people don't understand the impact of it. And so I think what's really important is when you have wins and things like that on social media, or you've developed a really strong relationship with someone with a big following, or, just whatever like goal it is you're aiming to achieve, and you get it, like, let people know, like, you have to keep educating the people within your organization who may not see the value yet of social media. They're not going to know it unless you show it to them. So don't give up. Just keep educating people.
I think another point as well that I'll add to that is coming back into the organization is that internally as well, your organization has to be involved in its social media. So, if your employees aren't following the page or, on the page, I think it starts internally before you start going outwards. So,
Yeah, no, great points. All right, well, thank you so much, Cal. It was really fun to see you again.
It was nice to see you again.
Yeah, and then next week I'm still confirming our special guest, but I will communicate about that on Friday. So thank you to Cal and thank you to everyone who tuned in today. So thanks, and I'll see you all next week. Thanks very much.
Bye.
Bye.